What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we are checking out another viewer's car. This is Roof, his BMW M2 from 2017. So it's a regular M2, not a competition, from 2017, which means it's a facelift. And this might be the sweet spot, the facelifted version of the first BMW M2. Now, we did have a few problems with this car, but Roof has made some modifications to this car, which should take care of quite a lot of those problems. So today I'm going to show you around it, show you all the cool stuff on this car, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. And you can also check out the owner of this car, Roof, on YouTube and Instagram, The Hunter Hoffman. Go check him out. He uploads videos on his YouTube channel about this car as well. So show him some love and go subscribe. Okay, so let's start on the outside. We've got a Long Beach blue car. Now, when this car came out, the M2, almost all of the press cars and video cars and whatever, almost all of them were blue. So I kind of got tired of it. I didn't really like it anymore, but now when I see it again, I really love it. And that's also because Roof has a lot of M Performance stuff on the outside. So we've got a very nice little carbon fiber winglet down here attached to the front bumper. It's very subtle but still very racy, quite like that. And of course, this being a regular M2, we've got the old nose, the old front, with the more beautiful front bumper, if you ask me, and a more beautiful grille as well, because the competition got a little bit more square and a little bit bigger, the grille, and the front bumper got a lot more fussy, a lot more busy and aggressive. After a few years, I think that this is the more beautiful car, to be honest, the regular M2. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So another change for the M2 competition compared to this one is that this M2 has these double spoke wheels, and the M2 competition got those more spoke racier wheels. The M2 competition also got bigger brakes compared to this one, so that is a nice upgrade. These are 19-inch wheels with Continental Sport Contact 3 tires. These rear tires are absolutely gone. They need replacement, but it means that you can have a lot of fun quite easily with this car, because the loose rear end does make for a lot of fun. So we've got a little M2 side scuttle there, and carbon fiber mirror caps, a little roof as well, and again the M Performance winglet on the outside, on the side skirt. Quite a nice look, I think. And then at the rear we've got the little boot lid spoiler. Very nice. Looks really cool, if you ask me. It does give this M2, which has a little bit of a rounder ass than the M2 competition, a nice little touch. Really like that. And of course, what an awesome upgrade this is. The M Performance exhaust for the M2 with the carbon fiber diffuser as well. And this is back in the day when an M Performance exhaust meant something. This is an OPF-less car, and this exhaust is absolutely magnificent. There's another little upgrade I wanted to show you guys. This usually is like a red reflector, and Roof put in this black plastic thing. Like that a lot better than the red reflectors. So let's take a look at the engine. The 3-liter inline 6 turbocharged engine. So this is the N55 engine with 370 horsepower, 465 newton meters of torque. The M2 competition got the S55 engine, so the engine from the F80 M3 and F82 M4, with that carbon fiber strut brace in here, and 410 horsepower and 550 newton meters of torque. Now, as I said, there are a few upgrades on this car. So we've got a charge pipe, a boost pipe, a turbo inlet pipe, a cold air intake, as you can see, and an intercooler by CSF. And this is actually a really good upgrade, because this engine has some trouble with performing at higher speeds and at higher RPMs. So this really helps with that. And you'll see that on the Autobahn as well, because it performs really well. And it sounds cool too. So on the inside, we've got a couple more nice upgrades. We've got the carbon fiber inlay on the dash, on the door handles, on the center console, and on the gear lever here. Little surround as well. And we've got the carbon fiber and performance handbrake. So there is a lot of M Performance stuff on this car. I mean, a lot. We've even got the M Performance steering wheel with the LED lights and a little screen right there. So if we turn it on, the ignition at least, you can see the steering wheel turning on as well. And then if we hit these two buttons, you turn on the wheel and you have all this info in the steering wheel, which is pretty cool. So you can use these buttons to cycle through the menus, and you can even get your coolant temperature and oil temperature there on the steering wheel, which is very, very nice. And of course you've got that shift light left and right, which is super nice as well. Okay, so we've got a little remote for the exhaust here. So this is it, because this was really cool when it came out. So you have this little insert here in the cup holder to store it, so you can put it right there. And well, fun-loving the Netherlands, we actually weren't allowed to use this anymore at some point. So they actually had to install it in the trunk, this button. So Roof actually made a little bypass to make sure that you can use it whenever you want. Okay, so we'll start it up and we'll go to Sport Plus, close it. Oh, that's open. Okay, so let's close it. So you can hear that cool air intake and a very nice 6-cylinder sound. Now let's open it. That sounds really, really good. And this is, I mean, this is a proper exhaust. You can actually see the valve in there. Oh, I love that. It is so sad that this is a thing of the past now, basically. Okay, let's go and take it for a drive. Okay, so Martijn is going to join me for some tips. For some tips and tricks. He's going to teach me how to drive. Now, he doesn't want to sit in the back because there are no doors there and we're going on the Autobahn, so...
Safety first.
Safety first. Fun second. Okay. So we are going for manual mode, Sport Plus, traction control all the way off. There we go. And let's have some fun. I'll turn on the steering wheel again. There we go. So you can really feel that those tires are gone. That was just to demonstrate. That was second gear, and it takes absolutely nothing to break traction. So the M2 in general is not the most grippy car at the rear end, but this tire really makes it difficult to put the power down. It is a lot of fun though, and it sounds really, really good. So that typical sound that the N55 and S55 can produce, that sound is so cool. I really like that. Now, I do notice that the steering wheel, the LEDs are not calibrated properly, because it starts flashing at like 6,500 RPM already. So they should be at, I think, 7. But anyway, that should be configurable. Okay, so we have the MDCT gearbox, of course, which means we also have the smoky burnout mode, which is very, very nice, and that sounded absolutely awesome. So apart from that power upgrade, The M2 competition compared to the M2 also got this configurable stuff down here with all the buttons to adjust your suspension and your throttle mapping, the engine, stuff like that. The M2 has just this toggle switch between comfort, sport and sport plus, and it has passive dampers. But it sounds really good with this M-Performance exhaust. And I like the fact that you can hear that turbo as well with that cold air intake. Yeah, it's a good setup. Very restrained, I would say. So not too many mods, just a couple of nice ones to improve the car. Okay, so here we are at the Autobahn. Now, you've heard the car, you've heard that cold air intake, you've heard the exhaust, very nice upgrades. But we've got that CSF intercooler as well, which is much bigger than stock, and it actually makes a big difference. You might remember, those of you who've been around for a long time on our channel, we made a video with the M2 when it came out and compared it to an M240i at the Autobahn, and it was really close. So we did a lot of runs, and one run the M2 would be faster, the next run the M240 would be faster, and it was really strange. Now we found out later that that was mainly because of the heat problems that the M2 and the M2 competition have, that they just don't perform when you do these Autobahn runs because stuff gets too hot. And with this bigger intercooler, that is much better. So you can actually feel that the car goes through the rev range at high speeds just so much better. It's such an improvement. It would feel asthmatic. I'm doing 240 now, and you would definitely feel that in the regular M2 in a stock car. But with this one it just keeps going. So this car will do 270 kilometers an hour. There it is, because it has the M Drivers package. Now, of course, we also measured our 100 to 200 kilometer an hour runs, and well, I hope you're sitting down for this one, because we measured the BMW M2 competition at 10.59, and we just measured this car at 10.57. So it was 2/100ths of a second quicker. So just basically the same time as an M2 competition, with 40 horsepower less, 85 Newton meters less. This car is supposed to do 4.3 seconds to 100. The competition is supposed to do 4.2. Yeah, it's just such an improvement that the Roof has made to his car. So that 10.57 run we did is not a representation of a stock M2, because that's just because this car has those modifications. A stock M2 would be much slower. So I mean, it's kind of an eye-opener. It's a really nice car to drive still. I mean, one of the best handling BMWs of recent years. I have fun every time I drive an M2, basically. On track, on the street, on the Autobahn. It's always a lot of fun. And it's definitely not worth your money to go for an M2 competition, in my opinion. I mean, in the Netherlands right now, you pay like 50 grand for a good M2. And between 65 and 70 for a good M2 competition. So yeah, I wouldn't pay that extra. I just would go for these upgrades and definitely find one with an M-Performance exhaust. That would be my advice. And of course you can also go for a manual, but I actually do really like this gearbox in the M2 because you have a very short wheelbase. If you go play around with the car, you can react so much quicker with the pedals. I think it's actually a better car to drive with the pedals. And manuals from this year BMW weren't that great. So it really is, well, Martijn is almost in my seat. It really is one of the best driving BMWs of recent years, and even though I really love the S55 engine, and I do think that, you know, if you go for an M2 competition and, you know, put a couple of mods on that car, it will be even quicker than this, but I don't think it's worth the money, and I really love the N55 engine. It's so good. Oh man, what a joy to drive. Rolf, thank you so much for taking it to us. As I said, you can go follow him on Instagram and on YouTube. I'll put his channel in the end screen right now, the Hunter Hoffman. Go check him out. Thank you so much to you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video on the right, or go check out this playlist on the right, or go check out this playlist on the left. Bye.